Every hour, the universe gives you a golden moment, a sacred breath in time, to align, to affirm, and to declare your good. In the silence between seconds, a divine law listens. You are not at the mercy of time. Time is at the mercy of truth, spoken with unwavering faith. The words you utter, especially in rhythm with the hours, become your rod and your staff. They comfort you, guide you, and most powerfully, they create for you. You see, life responds to the word, not any word, but the word spoken with authority, the word charged with divine expectancy. The soul that knows its power does not wait for conditions to improve. It speaks, and conditions must obey. Each hour is a gate, a new portal, a blank canvas upon which you may paint with your decree. If you are to have peace, declare it. If you are to have health, affirm it. If you are to have abundance, speak it boldly, casting out all doubt as one would cast out a thief. Doubt is a trespasser, fear is a ghost with no substance. Only your word, backed by spiritual knowing, has power. To speak every hour is not a ritual, it is a discipline of dominion. It is not repetition, but realignment. You are not begging, you are not hoping. You are commanding in love, knowing the law works with precision and grace. Say it every hour: I walk in light. I live in love. I speak my word, and the law perfects it now. Speak it when you feel weak. Speak it when all seems still. Speak it when the mind wants to wander into worry. Call it back. Center yourself, and say it again. The outer world is a delayed reflection, but the spoken word begins the change immediately, like the turning of a great ship at sea. The one who masters their speech masters their fate. The tongue, anointed by truth, is mightier than any circumstance, and every hour the opportunity returns, as sure as the sun, as certain as the stars, for you to declare what is real, not what merely appears. So every hour, no matter what you face, say this: I walk in light. I live in love. I speak my word, and the law perfects it now. Your word creates your reality. This truth stands at the very heart of spiritual law and creative living. The words you speak, especially those spoken with belief, emotion, and persistence, become the mold through which the invisible becomes visible. Words are not mere sounds in the air, they are energetic patterns, coded with intention and carried on the breath of spirit. Each word you speak is a seed cast into the soil of the universe, and the soil never fails to bring forth what is planted. There is no such thing as an idle word. Every utterance carries vibration, and every vibration finds its match. If you speak lack, you call to yourself the pattern of lack. If you declare confusion, you attract more confusion. But when you speak truth, boldly, consciously, with the inner knowing that spirit backs your word, you activate the unseen forces that shape your experience. You do not need to know how it will come about. That is not your burden. Your task is to speak the word with faith, to declare the good, to plant the seed. So many souls suffer because they have not understood this law. They speak of what they do not want and wonder why it continues. They affirm sickness, doubt, scarcity, and delay without realizing that their word is the architect of their days. They do not yet see that the universe does not distinguish between what is desired and what is feared. It simply responds to vibration. It obeys the word, not the wish. It mirrors conviction, not confusion. To say, I am always tired, or I can't afford that, or nothing works out for me, is to hand over the blueprint of your life to limitation and expect freedom. But life cannot contradict your decree. The wise soul begins to listen to their own speech. They watch for every complaint, every negative affirmation, every careless word that has been sent out into the ethers like a command. And then, with gentleness and power, they reverse it. They say, that is not the truth about me. I am strong. I am supplied. I am aligned with divine order. They replace the lie with the word of truth, not once, but consistently with the rhythm of belief. Words spoken in fear are like arrows shot in the dark. They miss the mark, but still cause damage. Words spoken in faith are like seeds planted in rich soil. They unfold in beauty and power. The outer world may take time to shift, but the inner world moves instantly. And once the inner alignment is true, the outer must follow. This is not superstition. It is law. It is the silent architecture of manifestation. You may not see it yet, but it is already on its way. In times of trouble, the natural impulse is to speak about the problem, to talk of how bad it is, how long it has lasted, how unfair it seems. But spiritual mastery begins when you choose to speak only the solution. Not because you deny the facts, but because you affirm the truth. There is a higher reality, one that exists beyond appearances, and you draw it into your experience by naming it, claiming it, declaring it again and again. I am healed. I am guided. I am prosperous. I am protected. These are not just affirmations, they are divine decrees. And when spoken with the energy of conviction, they have the power to dissolve fear, break delay, and shift the direction of your life. Even if the outer world remains unchanged for a moment, your inner world begins to radiate a new frequency, and that frequency calls to it its own. As within, so without. The power of the spoken word is multiplied when spoken regularly, rhythmically, and with intention. This is why hourly affirmations are so potent. You are not merely repeating phrases. You are resetting your vibration, re-centering your consciousness, and reaffirming your truth. In doing so, you crowd out the noise of doubt, worry, and fear. You make yourself an instrument of divine order. You speak the word, and the word becomes flesh. The creative process begins with thought, moves into feeling, and finds form in speech. Your word is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. What you speak, you impress upon the subconscious, and the subconscious does not argue, it only obeys. If you say, I never have enough, the subconscious says, very well. If you say, everything is always working out for me, the subconscious says, let it be so. And so it is. Many imagine they must first see results before they change their speech. But that is backward. Speech comes first. The word leads. The condition follows. To wait until things change before speaking differently is to give up your role as creator and to live as a reporter. But you are not a reporter of what is. You are a declarer of what shall be. Your word is your wand, and with it, you cast the spell of your life. This is why it is vital to become conscious of every word. Speak with purpose. Speak with love. Speak with expectancy. Let your words be filled with life, charged with the light of knowing. Refuse to curse your own experience with careless speech. Bless your path with declarations of good. Even in the silence of your own mind, choose the word that uplifts. The universe hears even the unspoken prayer. Some will say, but I have said it, and nothing has changed. And the answer is, you must say it again, and again. Not out of desperation, but out of devotion. Speak it not to force, but to align. Speak it not to impress others, but to impress the divine pattern upon your soul. Keep speaking until the words no longer feel like effort, but like truth, until they become part of you. Until you no longer hope they are true. You know they are true. The spoken word repeated in faith becomes a rhythm, a vibration, a signal to the universe. And all that is in harmony with that signal begins to move toward you. People, opportunities, solutions, resources, all begin to arrange themselves in alignment with your new decree. You may not control how it happens. That is not your concern. Your work is to speak the word and know that it is done. When you speak, speak from the end. Do not say, I hope I will have peace. Say, I am peaceful now. Do not say, one day I will be free. Say, I am free today. The law responds to the present tense. It moves on certainty, not contingency. Let your word reflect your vision, not your condition. Let your speech speak from faith, not fear. Let your declarations pull you forward, not drag you back. It matters not how long the problem has existed. It matters not what others have said, thought, or believed. What matters is what you are saying now, in this moment. For this moment is the seed of the next. And your word is the water, the light, and the nourishment. You are always planting. You are always shaping. You are always speaking. Even in silence your vibration speaks. Choose then to speak that which you wish to see. Let every word be chosen with care, as one who knows its power. Speak not of limitation, but of the divine potential unfolding. Speak not of delay, but of right timing. Speak not of fear, but of love, for love is the language of spirit. And the more you speak from this place, the more your world bends to meet you there. Speak with authority, not fear. Every word you release into the atmosphere carries with it a tone, either the vibration of power or the tremble of doubt. It is not merely what you say, but how you say it, from what center within you the word arises. Fearful speech is rooted in lack and uncertainty. It hopes, it pleads, it questions. But the speech of authority is grounded in truth. It knows, it claims, it commands with quiet certainty. When you speak from fear, you are disconnected from your divine source. You are identifying with appearances, with outer facts, with the changing winds of circumstance. You are taking counsel from what the senses report and letting temporary conditions decide your inner state. But when you speak with authority, you speak from your spiritual center. The place that knows all is already well, regardless of what the eyes see or the ears hear. Authority in speech does not shout, it does not plead, it does not waver, it speaks once, and that is enough. It carries the tone of divine law, firm, loving, final. It does not argue with the world, it declares to the world. It does not ask for permission, it knows it already has the power, and so it simply speaks the word, and the word goes forth to do its work. The one who speaks with authority does not wait for results to believe. They believe, and therefore the results must follow. To speak with authority is not arrogance. It is alignment. It is remembering who you are. You are not a beggar in the kingdom. You are an heir. You are not a victim of fate. You are a vessel of divine intention. And the moment you claim this, your voice changes. It becomes steady. It becomes bold. It becomes the voice of truth speaking through you, not merely your own voice trying to convince itself. Many people pray or affirm with a hidden tremor in their voice, a subtle vibration of fear, worry, or need. They are speaking the words, but not from the place of knowing. The words may be correct, but the energy is confused, and so the results are delayed or distorted. Authority is not in the volume, nor in the length of the speech. It is in the stillness underneath the word, the inner yes, that says, it is already done. You cannot fake authority. It is not performance. It comes from alignment with spiritual truth. It is born in the silence where you remember that you are one with the creative power of the universe. It is cultivated in the moments when you turn from fear, turn from appearances, and choose once again to anchor yourself in divine reality. In that space, your word is no longer yours alone. It is the word, capital W, moving through you. When Jesus said, "Lazarus, come forth," he did not beg, he did not doubt, he did not ask if it would work. He spoke with authority, because he knew. And this knowing was not personal power, but divine alignment. He said, "I and the Father are one." And from that oneness the word carried the weight of creation. You too must find this place within yourself. For it is not reserved for saints or sages. It is your birthright. To speak with authority is to speak as though your word matters. Because it does. Every time you say, "I can't," you reinforce your chains. Every time you say, "It is possible for me," you loosen them. The universe does not know sarcasm. It hears only truth or falsehood, alignment or fear. When you speak, do so as one whose voice echoes the divine. You are not giving commentary. You are giving command. Authority does not require evidence. It does not look to see if others agree. It does not check the weather or ask for statistics. It speaks from principle. And principle is eternal, unchanging, unaffected by the whims of the world. When you align your speech with principle, with abundance, with harmony, with perfect health, with peace, you are invoking that which already is, not trying to create it out of nothing. Fearful speech looks for proof. Authoritative speech is the proof. When you say, "I am divinely guided," it is not a hope, it is a statement of fact. When you say, "Everything I need is already on its way," you are not making a wish. You are affirming the invisible truth that precedes all visible form. And when you say it with calm confidence, the universe responds. It does not respond to panic. It does not respond to desperation. It responds to order. And order is established through the tone of your word. You may feel afraid. You may feel uncertain. But you can still choose to speak with authority. Authority is not about how you feel in the moment. It is about what you choose to believe in that moment. You can feel the emotion of fear and still declare, I walk in faith. You can notice lack and still affirm, I live in divine supply. You can acknowledge illness and still say, I am whole. The feeling may follow the word, or it may not. But the word, spoken with conviction, sets the pattern in motion. Your authority is not earned, it is remembered. It is awakened when you stop giving your power to conditions and start giving it to truth. The moment you stop describing the problem and start declaring the principle, your vibration rises. Your inner posture changes. You go from reacting to creating, and the tone of your voice becomes magnetic, not to draw to you what you want, but to align you with what already belongs to you in spirit. There is a reason why declarations have power. They do not ask. They do not beg. They do not explain. They declare, let there be light. That is authority. No preface, no justification. Just pure truth spoken without apology. That is the pattern. That is the model. You can follow it. You can say, let there be clarity. Let there be peace in my home. Let there be order in my affairs. And when you speak it with authority, the universe moves to fulfill the decree. It is not about forcing your will. It is about aligning with divine will. And divine will is always for your good. It is always for expansion, for harmony, for healing, for freedom. When you speak from this place, your voice becomes an instrument of divine law. You are no longer trying to make things happen. You are allowing what is already true to express itself in your life. And the law will not return void. Practice speaking with this tone. Practice catching the fear in your voice and replacing it with truth. Practice pausing before you speak, so that what comes forth is not reaction, but revelation. The world is filled with voices that echo fear, doubt, and confusion. Your voice can be different. Your voice can be the voice of calm in the storm, the voice of peace in the midst of chaos, the voice of authority that speaks only what aligns with love and truth. You may not always feel powerful, but you can speak powerfully. And as you do, you remind your subconscious and the universe of what is real. The habit of fearful speech can be broken. The tendency to shrink your word to match your fear can be transformed. And as you speak with authority, you step into the role you were born to play. Co-creator with the infinite, the one who speaks and sees it come to pass. Each hour is a chance to realign. The clock does not only mark the passing of time, it offers rhythm, opportunity, and renewal. Every turning of the hour hand is a divine invitation to return to truth, to remember who you are, and to reaffirm what you choose to create in your world. You are never stuck, never bound by what has come before. No matter what the last hour held, the new hour holds a clean slate, a fresh space, and a powerful chance to begin again. Life moves in cycles. The body breathes in and out, the earth spins in rhythm, and the soul, too, has its cadence. Each hour is a spiritual breath, a moment to exhale the fear, the worry, the tension, and to inhale divine certainty, peace, and purpose. If you feel yourself drifting, wandering, or weighed down, you need not wait for a better day or a more perfect mood. The next hour is already approaching, and with it comes the grace of realignment. It is not about perfection. It is about return. Realignment means shifting back into harmony with the higher order. It means remembering that the truth is never lost, only forgotten. Like a compass that naturally points north, your soul always knows how to return to center. And each hour, the universe offers a gentle reminder: come back. Come back to love. Come back to faith. Come back to the vibration of what you know to be true when all distractions are cleared. You do not need to fix everything at once. You only need to realign. You do not need to figure out the whole plan. You only need to speak one clear word of truth. And you do not need to wait for the outer world to change before you adjust your inner posture. Every hour, regardless of what has happened, is a spiritual reset point. You may have been thinking thoughts of limitation. You may have fallen into old patterns, but the hour strikes, and the bell of spirit rings. This moment is new. This is the power of rhythm. The spiritual life is not a mountaintop you climb once. It is a journey of remembering, over and over, who you are and what you choose. And the hourly rhythm is a holy structure, offering you regular space to pause, to breathe, to speak again your truth, not from effort but from love. It is not mechanical repetition. It is sacred maintenance. It is spiritual hygiene. Just as you refresh your body daily, you are invited to refresh your consciousness every hour. What happens when you realign each hour is that your vibration becomes consistent. You become steady. You begin to override the old programming that was based on reaction, fear, and repetition of the past. Instead, you install new thought patterns, ones based on faith, gratitude, expectancy, and truth. These patterns are planted deeper each time you speak them, feel them, and choose them again. It is like carving a new path through the forest. Every hour you take another step along that path, until it becomes the way you live. There is no need to judge the hours that came before. If you forgot the truth for a moment, forgive yourself. The next hour is waiting. If you drifted into worry or tension, release it. The next hour is open. Spirit does not hold grudges. Divine law is immediate, not delayed. And the moment you return to alignment, the energy shifts. The moment you realign, your power is restored. Some resist repetition, thinking it is boring or unnecessary. But the soul knows the value of rhythm. Nature thrives in cycles. The tide goes out and returns. The moon waxes and wanes. The heart beats steadily, not once but again and again. And so too must the truth be remembered, not once a day, not once a week, but as often as possible, until the inner and outer are in full agreement. Each hour gives you that chance. Not because something is wrong, but because you are choosing to stay awake. Realignment does not mean striving. It is not force. It is the simple, quiet shift from the lower thought to the higher one. It is the gentle turning of attention from fear to faith, from problem to principle, from appearance to truth. You need not wrestle with yourself. You need only pause, affirm, and breathe. Say the word. Feel the peace. Return. This rhythm becomes especially powerful when it is made a practice. Just as you may stop to stretch, to drink water, to rest the body, so too can you stop to nourish the soul. A moment of silence, a spoken affirmation, a gentle declaration, I am aligned now. I remember my truth. I walk in love and power. These simple words, spoken with sincerity, can change the course of your hour. And your hour can change the course of your day. When you realign, you rise above the surface noise of life. You stop reacting and start creating. You cease being a victim of momentum and become the author of the next moment. Realignment lifts your vibration, and that vibration influences all things around you. Conversations shift, ideas appear, energy flows more freely. You are no longer trying to push against resistance. You are flowing with divine current. The mind may resist, saying it's not the right time, or it doesn't feel real, or there are too many distractions. But this is precisely why the hourly practice matters. The outer world pulls at your attention constantly. Without rhythm, you drift. With rhythm, you return. The spiritual path is not about always feeling inspired. It is about making the inspired choice, over and over, regardless of how you feel. Each hour gives you the chance to do just that. You do not need a full ritual. You only need a moment, a breath, a word, a choice. The power is not in the length of the practice, but in the depth of the return. Even one clear moment of alignment can ripple outward and shift the entire field. The presence you bring to this hour creates the pattern for the next. And that presence is within your reach, no matter what the hour holds. The more you realign, the more you train your consciousness to default to truth. Instead of spiraling downward, you lift. Instead of reacting blindly, you respond with wisdom. You stop the descent into worry before it becomes a pattern. You anchor yourself in peace before the storm builds. This is the silent strength of hourly return. It is not dramatic, but it is powerful. It is not loud, but it is transformative. The body responds to rhythm. So does the soul. When you begin to honor the hour as a sacred point of contact, you will notice a shift, not only in your results but in your inner peace. Life will begin to feel less chaotic and more ordered. Not because nothing changes, but because you have chosen to be the center of your own alignment. You are no longer swayed by the world. You are rooted in truth, and that truth is refreshed each time you return. Repetition anchors divine truth. What is repeated with faith is impressed upon the subconscious, and what is impressed upon the subconscious becomes the mold for your experience. The soul learns by rhythm, by return, by the sacred repetition of truth, until it becomes not just something you remember, but something you are. Words spoken once may inspire, but words spoken again and again with intention and clarity take root in consciousness and begin to shape the outer world to match the inner decree. You are not repeating to convince the universe. The divine already knows. You are repeating to convince the layers of yourself, the mental habits, the emotional patterns, the deeply buried beliefs that have accumulated through years of experience, doubt, and appearance. Repetition is the soft hammer that breaks the stone of limitation. It is the holy rain that washes away the dust of fear. It is the light that burns through the fog of forgetfulness. Truth is not fragile. It does not change. But your ability to embody it deepens with each return. The first time you say, "I am guided," it may feel like a stretch. The second time, it begins to settle. The 10th time, it finds a place within you. The 100th time, it becomes your nature. This is the work, not of force, but a faithful return. You are not trying to make something happen. You are allowing the deeper truth to emerge through conscious remembering. The world around you is filled with repetition. Patterns of news, worry, gossip, fear, all repeated endlessly until they seem like reality. But they are only imprints, given power by the repetition of belief. If the world can repeat untruth and produce confusion, you can repeat truth and produce clarity. You can interrupt the rhythm of fear by inserting a higher rhythm. A declaration of peace, of abundance, of divine order. With each repetition, you carve a new channel. You lay down a new track. You build a new inner structure. The subconscious mind is not impressed by occasional brilliance. It is moved by consistent direction. Like a garden, it responds to the steady planting of seeds. A single affirmation spoken once may feel good, but one spoken hourly becomes a pattern. A pattern becomes a path. A path becomes a foundation. Repetition is the building of the inner temple. With each word of truth spoken again and again, you reinforce the vibration until it becomes stronger than your doubts. You may think, "I've already said this." But have you said it with feeling, with faith, with presence? Have you said it today, in this hour, when fear came knocking? Truth must be lived in the present. Repetition is not dull when done with presence. It becomes alive, new, and powerful. The sunrise is repeated daily, yet no one calls it boring. The heartbeat repeats constantly, yet it is the rhythm of life. Your repetition of truth is the heartbeat of your spiritual alignment. Many people repeat negativity without knowing it. They say, "I never have enough," or "nothing works out for me," over and over again. And the law, impartial and exact, reflects that pattern back to them. But the same law will respond just as faithfully to higher declarations. When you say, "Everything I need is provided," or "I am always divinely guided," and you say it again and again, not in panic but in peace, you lay down a new pattern. That pattern calls to it the conditions that match it, and your world begins to change, not all at once, but certainly, steadily and with grace. You are not trying to convince God. You are reeducating your own consciousness. You are peeling back the layers of falsehood until only the truth remains. Repetition clears the clutter of the mind. It burns through the fog of confusion. It anchors you in the vibration of your choosing. This is spiritual discipline, not in harshness, but in devotion. To return to the word, again and again, is to honor its power. It is to show that you trust the process, that you are willing to walk by faith and not by sight. The ego may resist, saying it already knows. But knowledge is not the goal, embodiment is. until truth becomes your instinct, your first response, your default vibration. Repetition is the bridge. The world will present many opportunities to forget. Every distraction, every challenge, every external voice may try to pull you off center. But your repeated word becomes your anchor, your shield, your sword. It cuts through doubt and reestablishes clarity. There is no need to rush, no need to prove. Repetition works gently. It does not shout. It whispers the truth until the noise quiets. It plants waters and waits in faith. And in time, the fruit appears, a new confidence, a new peace, a new order to your days, and all of it born not from striving, but from the quiet return to the word you chose to believe. You may find one phrase that holds power for you. Repeat it. Let it become the rhythm of your day. Say it when you wake. Say it when you walk. Say it when your mind begins to wander. Say it when fear begins to whisper. Return to it not out of fear but out of choice. Make it your holy rhythm. And as you do, your inner world begins to stabilize. You find yourself less reactive, more centered, more at ease. That is the power of repetition anchored in truth. The outer world may not immediately change, but your relationship to it does. You are no longer at its mercy. You are rooted in something deeper, something eternal. Your repeated word becomes a channel for divine law to flow into form. You no longer speak from the level of circumstance. You speak from the level of spirit. And spirit, once spoken through you consistently, becomes the author of your reality. You are training your consciousness, not controlling your life. You are not repeating to manipulate outcomes. You are repeating to return to your source. And the source is always love, always order, always abundance. Each repetition clears the distortion and reveals the pattern underneath. You are not building something new. You are allowing what already is to come through. In the stillness of repetition there is transformation. Not loud, not flashy, but deep, real lasting. You no longer need to argue with the world because you have found your word. And your word, spoken often, spoken faithfully, becomes your world. What once felt like effort becomes your new way of being. Not forced but natural. Not imposed but embraced. Repetition makes the unfamiliar familiar, and in doing so, brings the unseen into sight. The law responds to your decree. It does not judge your worthiness, your background, or the story you've lived up until now. It responds with precision and impartiality to the vibration behind your word. The moment you speak with conviction, you set spiritual law into motion. This law is exact, unchanging, and governed by divine order. It is not swayed by emotion, urgency, or pleading. It is activated by belief, by the authority of your words spoken with certainty. Your decree is not simply a wish. It is not a plea to an external force. A decree is a command spoken from the awareness of your spiritual dominion. It carries weight. It is not asking for something to happen. It is declaring that it already is. When you say, "I am," followed by truth, you are not hoping to become. You are aligning with what has always been yours in spirit. The law does not delay or debate. It mirrors. It reflects back to you the exact tone, content, and frequency of your decree. What you decree consistently becomes law in your experience. If you decree limitation through speech laced with doubt, the law faithfully brings conditions that match. If you decree expansion with clarity and trust, the law moves mountains, people, resources, and timing to reflect that. It is not magic, it is divine mechanics. The law is always working, whether you are aware of it or not. The moment you become conscious of your power to decree, you step into true spiritual responsibility. You are never waiting on the law. It is waiting on your clarity. It is waiting on your unwavering word. It is waiting for you to speak not from the surface of fear, but from the depth of knowing. The decree made in passing, without attention or presence, holds little power. But the decree made in silence, spoken within, backed by faith, moves through the ethers like a current. It does not require force. It only requires alignment. A true decree is not frantic. It is still, but unshakable. It does not plead with the universe. It speaks as the universe. "Let there be," is the model of the decree. It is not followed by explanation, apology, or doubt. It is spoken and it is done. not in visible form, perhaps, but in spiritual form. And spiritual form precedes all manifestation. The invisible field shifts the moment the decree is made in faith. You are not decreeing just for yourself. Every time you speak truth into the world, you align with a universal current that uplifts all. You create a tone, a resonance that others can feel, even if they do not know why. When you say, "There is peace in my home," the law begins to orchestrate conditions to match that decree. When you say, "I walk in divine order," paths are cleared, delays are lifted, and timing aligns. Not because you made it happen through effort, but because you aligned with the law through your word. Most people do not understand the weight of what they say. They think words are only sounds or expressions of mood. But the spiritually awake understand that every word is a seed, and the law is the soil. What you plant, you harvest. You cannot speak of chaos and expect order. You cannot decree lack and expect prosperity. You cannot describe what is wrong and expect what is right. The law is not sentimental. It does not bend to emotion. It responds to principle. This is why discipline of speech is sacred. Not to censor yourself, but to protect your creative power. When you become aware that the law responds to your decree, you speak with purpose. You choose your words with care, not fearfully, but reverently. You no longer entertain casual declarations of fear or sarcasm, for you know the law hears everything. Not as punishment, but as a mirror. To decree is to take dominion. It is to stop narrating the problem and start establishing the solution. Your decree is not a reaction to conditions. It is the cause that changes conditions. You do not wait for signs to speak. You speak, and signs follow. This is the reversal of ordinary thinking, and it is the beginning of spiritual mastery. You are no longer a reporter. You are a creator. The law does not need time to process. The shift begins immediately. Even if the outer world seems unchanged, the decree has already taken root in the unseen. Like a seed beneath the soil, it is growing, expanding, preparing to break through. If you decree healing, the law begins to work through cells, organs, and energy. If you decree provision, the law begins to move through channels you cannot yet see. Your work is not to force the outcome. Your work is to hold the vibration of the decree and walk as though it is already done. Doubt weakens the decree, not because the law judges doubt, but because the vibration becomes scattered. The clearer the decree, the more direct the path. The more you repeat it with faith, the stronger the current becomes. The law responds not only to what you say once, but to the consistency of your claim. Speak it in the morning. Speak it in the hour of temptation. Speak it when you are afraid. Speak it when you feel strong. The law does not sleep. It is always listening for your word. To decree is to align yourself with the divine blueprint. You are not making something happen that does not already exist in principle. You are calling it forth into visibility. Just as the oak exists in the acorn, your good already exists in spiritual form. The decree is the water, the sunlight, the environment that allows it to grow. Nothing is withheld. All is waiting on the spoken word. The more you decree from the level of truth, the less you are influenced by appearances. You begin to see through delay. You begin to walk with calm expectation, knowing the law is not confused. The outer may take time to catch up, but the inner decree is immediate. And it is the inner that matters most. Your decree sets your energy, your posture, your direction. You become steady, immovable, unwavering, not by force but by principle. This is not blind optimism. It is the deepest realism. The spiritual realm is more real than the material, for it is the source. When you decree from the spiritual realm, you are calling forth what is already finished in divine mind. You are not hoping to be healed. You are decreeing your wholeness. You are not begging for peace. You are declaring that peace is the truth, regardless of the current storm. You may not always feel powerful, but the decree does not come from feeling. It comes from knowing. And knowing can be chosen even in the absence of emotion. You speak the word, not because everything looks right, but because truth is truth whether or not it is visible. And the law, being perfect, can only respond in kind. Do not worry how it will come. That is not your realm. The how belongs to the law. Your role is to speak the word, hold to the word, walk in the vibration of the word. Let others speculate, fear, analyze, or wait. You have the word, and the word is enough. Your decree is the mold. The law fills the mold. It does not fail. It does not waver. It does not forget. This is the sacred partnership between soul and law. The soul declares. The law responds. The soul chooses the tone. The law produces the echo. The soul casts the vision. The law provides the form.